In this lesson, I'm going to talk about the events that are available on popular and common objects placed on forms in Microsoft Access. To do this, I'm using the test form that's in the sample DB database in the work files folder of this course. On that form, I have put a label, a text box, a command button, and a list box. The four most common things that people use in forms that they construct for use in Microsoft Access. Start with the label, and you'll notice the label has no events. That might surprise you at first until you realize what a label is used for on a form in Microsoft Access. A label is simply text that's placed on the form to describe another object. Most commonly, a text box to tell the user this is the information that's held in that text box, like a person's name or the URL address of a website or a phone number or things like that. So they understand the contents of the text box. There's no user interaction with a label. It's placed on the form during the form's open event, and that's it. So there's no event, there's nothing to be triggered because there's no action taken on the object. So we'll look at a text box next. Now, text box has several events. Many of these are common to all objects in Microsoft Access. It's got events that occur when you are pressing a key. It's got events dealing with the mouse being operated in or around that object. It has an event for receiving and losing the focus. What that means is if the cursor is first moved to that object, either because the mouse is moved and then the button was pushed to put the cursor there, or you hit the tab key from the previous object in the tab order, and then it moves the cursor to that object. When that happens, that's when the got focus event occurs. If you move away from the object by tabbing, it loses the focus, and that has the lost focus event occur. For text boxes, probably the most common event that is used is the after update event. This event is called when the user hits the enter key or return key after having typed data into the text box. So that data is in the text box, and the after update event is called that data is there, and somebody can do anything with it. For instance, you can test what's in the text box. Make sure it's the correct type of information that was asked for. If not, a little message box could appear. The text is wiped out of the text box, and the focus is returned to the text box for the user to try again. For command button, clearly the most popular event is the click event, for when the mouse button is pressed and to simulate clicking the button. In fact, just about every command button that is created on a form has an event procedure for the click event. Whether the user actually put custom information there, or the code was created through the wizard that Access has appear when you first put the command button on the form in the design view. Because the code that tells the application what to do when the button is clicked, even if it's automatically produced by the wizard, is included in the event procedure. So if all you're doing is opening the next form or moving to the next record, that code is placed into the event procedure. The last item here is a list box. And it's got the same kind of events. It's got the key events. It's got the mouse events. It's got update. That's when you add an item to the list. So it's got all the same events we've seen before. List boxes actually don't typically have event procedures. The selected items of the list box are referenced often by a different event. And the information, the properties of the list box are then checked by a different event and acted upon that way.